Welcome back. Just to make you jealous, I just had an enchilada from Carolinas on Cactus and Cave Creek. Oh, so good. How do we know what's going on with earthquakes? Well, they leave a history. If you get out your average backhoe here from Backhoes R Us and you dig a trench, you can go down in the trench and start looking at the history of what's going on. It doesn't look much to you and me, but to a person who's trained to look at this kind of stuff, you can restructure the history of what's going on. Here's the ghost of Homer Simpson in San Francisco. This is important. This kind of thing is important for San Francisco because they are right along this San Andreas Fault. Here's San Francisco. Remember the big 1906 earthquake? There's a reason the building, the Transamerica building, is built this way. It's hard to knock over. It's intentional. Ooh, earthquake. Now, how do we know earthquakes are coming? One, microseisms. Before an earthquake, there might be a swarm of very small earthquakes. If you send electricity through the earth, there are variations in the way it's conducted. The earth might be getting squished or stretched, so the water level in wells or springs may change. The earth may tilt on the volcano near Kilauea. The same thing happens with volcanoes. You end up with tilting, so they put in these little meters to measure tilt. Cleverly, they are called tilt meters. There will be changes in elevation, really easy to detect now with GPS, and because the ground is squished, a naturally occurring radioactive gas that comes from, quite often, granite, because granite contains small amounts of uranium, is elevated. Increased radon levels. It's hard for us to detect, but there are instruments that can detect it. Also, in Indonesia, elephants seem to act strange before earthquakes. This shouldn't surprise us because we already know elephants hear infrasonic sound, vibrations way lower than we can hear, and they apparently can hear them through their feet. Any of you with big feet, you might want to try that out. In 1975, Chinese predicted an earthquake 5 hours ahead of time. In 1975, Tangshan, China, there were 250,000 people dead. Do you think a few seconds of warning might be good? Now, I should tell you that a couple of years ago in Italy, the seismologists there predicted an earthquake. People said, should we evacuate? And the scientists said, we can't tell you. There was an earthquake, people were killed, and then the scientists were found guilty of not giving the right information, and they were put in jail. It seems a little bit silly, but then I might be biased. The Hayward and the San Andreas Fault in California. The Hayward Fault gives way about every 140 years. It's been 141 years, and there are 2 million people right now living along it. Since 1906, over 100 years, there has been no earthquake in the United States near a big city. We've been lucky. When one does happen, it may not be good. Well, that's it. Thanks for hanging with me. Bye-bye.